Fashion isn't just about clothing. It's about identity, it's about community, and it's about self-expression. And today's guest is going to go over exactly that, how fashion could help us express ourselves in a boldly and sustainable way. Stay tuned.
De Negocio a Negocio es patrocinado por Engente Connect.
In today's world, entrepreneurship is not only a transaction. Sometimes it's about building community. And there's some of us that do it in a sustainable way. That's why I'm super excited to present to you and introduce you to Odalys, who through Fashion Pour is not only building community, but creating and becoming part of a movement that inspire other women to self-express themselves. So welcome, Odalys, to De Negocio a Negocio.
Thank you so much. It's truly such an honor to be here. I'm so grateful, and let's dive in. I'm happy to tell the world what we have going on, especially this year. There's so many exciting things happening with the women's movement here at Heritage Headquarters, with the Fashion Port being involved. And I'm just truly so honored to be here in your presence, Carolina. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for saying yes. But now, like you said, let's dive in.
Yes.
For those women that don't know what the Fashion Pour is, why don't you share with us, like, what is really the Fashion Pour?
So the Fashion Pour was a rebrand for my photography page, Creative Photography. It's a little bit of everything. So it was me at 5 months postpartum trying to figure out where is my community. And as I had already stopped working for a little bit, I realized businesses get slow. And so for women-owned businesses, I really wanted to create something that we all pour into ourselves and create a movement where if we're taking care of our business, we're also taking care of ourselves. So in a sustainable way, I like to bring in the style swap. So we all bring in a little piece of glam, a little piece of our style, and swap it out at no cost when it comes to these events. That way we take a little bit of love with each other and we empower each other in that sense of style in a very sustainable way. And it just feels really empowering when the women leave so happy. And then weeks later, we're still getting some really good feedback from these women saying they're so happy because of the empowered experience they left with. So that was just a little seed that started in last year in 2025 in July. And so 6 months later, here we are. Led me to you, Carolina.
So now, when did you realize that this could become something so much bigger than just fashion? Because I know you mentioned that you love how women come in and exchange a little bit of who they are, because obviously for women, clothing is a statement piece that tells a story of, our creativity or even how confident we are with certain components of our bodies or hairs or a combination of both. But tell me, when did you realize that this could be something so much bigger?
I think when the Fashion Pour was created, it was with that reason and intention that I was like, okay, I know this is going to take me to so many avenues, and it's just up to me to put in the work and decide what avenue I'm going to take. So whether it was wellness, whether it was mental health, it was, that was a divider for me to really dive in and pour into these women. And as a branding expert, realize what is it that I want to bring to life when it comes to these empowerment experiences, but not just solely focusing it on fashion, because we all love it. And we all love to spend a pretty dime for it. So why not be sustainable about it and create a network in business and pour into ourselves while we're branding our own businesses? So that's really where the Fashion Pour comes from. Again, it was a rebrand from my photography business, ohshoot.ac. And so it's been a lot of fun bringing together so many women in the Valley, and now meeting you. It's truly just so great.
I mean,
happy.
I'm excited. I'm super excited because I know, I see the struggle that, like, for example, women in business we are attending so many networking events. We are doing so many things like podcasts and content creation that we're like, oh my gosh, I have to go buy another outfit. And before you know it, you end up with a closet full of items that you probably are going to be like, no, I can't wear that again. But by creating these exchanges, it allows us to, again, save some money. So our spouses and our family doesn't complain about, the spending.
Exactly.
But most important, it's just to have fun and build community. And I think that that's the part that I'm like super excited to have you with us today to talk about this, because I know a lot of times we think, right, that like, for example, wearing used clothes or certain items that I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna go in a Goodwill because I get, I get anxious, right? I get anxious
Exactly.
trying to find things to wear, and then on top of that, pay for it. But you know how it has been so rewarding to see the women, how they like go through the jeans, go through the jackets, and go through all the different options that the fashion port, thanks to that community building component, is able to provide. And seeing them tagging us, see how we're building and extending that community. And not only that, the visibility as a community. So thank you so much for, again, being part of this beautiful movement that is here to allow us to connect and build, hopefully, long-term relationships, right? Now, I have a question for you, because I know it's beautiful to talk about the inspiration behind your project, but I know that it hasn't been easy. Tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you have faced since you started wanting to build the fashion port.
A lot of doors will close. That's definitely something that a lot of people don't tell you. But as one closes, you have to make sure you create another door for you to be open and step into and continue to carve the way. So in order for you to just keep growing, you really have to believe in yourself and be strong, not just physically, but mentally. And then remember the reason why you're doing it. For me, it was my family, my son, my little toddler baby, that he's one day going to grow up and realize, Mommy, what did you do when you were raising me? What did you show? Like, what, not that what do you have to show forth, but at the end of the day, what are your accomplishments that I can look upon as an example of things that have been accomplished in our family? And so I can say I'm the first in my family to be a creative director in this way. And I've opened up a lot of opportunities, and it's been tough. It's not easy at all, but I'm grateful for the experience, and it's brought me to where I am today.
So what was one ugly moment that you basically said, you know what? I learned so much from it, and this was so important that it happened. Share it with us, because again, I love how you said, the doors opening and closing, which we all know it's a process, right?
Yeah.
Part of the process, the learning process. But I want you to give us an example. Like, what was that one ugly? And again, you don't have to say name. No somos chismosas. No somos chismosas, but
I think oversharing your vision. Sometimes women will say things to bring you down. Other women will maybe envy you in the process because they're not bold enough to take the decisions. But I think in that sense, you have to really, again, be strong and believe in yourself and know that other people's confidence are not your confidence. So never reflect what you're going through, because I think that's what happened to me a lot. I ran into a lot of people that reflected their journey onto me, and it brought a lot of negativity because I'm very emotional. But I think that's what makes me a really good friend, is that I listen and I take to heart everything that my friends tell me. And I take it serious, because it's what you have to do, You take people serious. If not, people are not going to take you serious. And I think that was the ugliest part, not being taken seriously enough.
And oversharing, because that's
Yeah.
just sometimes we have such a big vision and we're so passionate and we're super excited about what we're doing that we forget that not everybody maybe wants the same thing.
Understands it. You have, like you said, God gave you that vision. Maybe nobody else will understand in your journey until you're there. And then you can look back and say, wow, I can't believe all those no's were just so that I could get this yes. And I think to me, that's been the biggest hiccup throughout this whole process is understanding which no's are meant for me and which yeses made the way to be where I am today.
So now let's go back 2 years ago,
Mhm.
even before you started like be more active with the fashion board.
Yeah.
What will be the one advice that you will provide that 2 years ago you? And again, I know you already mentioned don't overshare.
Yeah.
And to just keep going.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. It's going to be quit that 9 to 5 because I didn't get fired once. I didn't get fired twice. I probably got fired 3 times throughout the times that I had a job. But because I was always working on my business during office hours. And honestly, to me, I would never take that back. It gave me time that even though I was working under somebody else's clock, I always made sure I make time for my things in between. So, yeah. Definitely quit the 9 to 5 because those were all signs for me that if I didn't do that sooner, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Nice. Didn't that and I say nice because a lot of people are scared of making that move, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I
Yeah.
going to, provide for my family?
Definitely.
How do you overcome that fear? Because I know there's a lot of women out there listening right now thinking about quitting their jobs, but to do what they're passionate about, but
Yeah.
not that easy.
Well, I don't know if I mentioned I am married. So having a strong foundation with my husband and our marriage definitely gives me that peace to continue to chase my dreams and do what I want. But at the end of the day, we met. I was 17, he was 19. A few weeks into a relationship, we started a business called Bar Magic. It was a bartending business we ran for the last 10 years. And that was always like our side hustle. So if we didn't have a full-time 9 to 5, we were working that side hustle the whole time. And so to me, there was always a source of income coming in. Even with my photo shoots, I was always providing that. So I just realized I had to go full on it to really dedicate what I wanted to my passion to bring in that income and that consistency for my brand.
So I was creating a plan that
Mhm.
intentionally allow you to transition into following your passion.
Exactly.
And in this case, it was having and knowing that you had that support from your spouse
Exactly.
to support, again, the financial component until you get going.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that you said that now you don't regret it one bit.
Mhm.
So what's next for the Fashion Pour?
We are getting together with the women's movement, and we are making a lot of amazing opportunities for vendors, local businesses, women-owned businesses that are here in the Valley. So whether it's an art show, a First Friday pop-up, a women's movement bar Lintine. Will you be my bar Lintine? So bar and brunch experience. That's February 28th. And I'm just so excited for all the incredible events that are going to be very empowering for not only the local owned businesses, but the women attending these. So,
Well, I'm excited to have you because as a founder of the women movement, I know that we have a lot of great collaborations coming up, with the Phoenix Suns, with the Diamondbacks, with the Arizona Botanical Garden, among other ones yet to confirm. But, you guys have to stay tuned. Follow us on social media.
yes.
How can we find you?
Just search the Fashion Pour. You'll find all the events we are involved with and all the amazing local businesses that will be participating. So definitely reach out, connect, because we are growing.
Well, thank you so much, Odalys, for coming in, sharing your journey and how passionate you are about building community and being part of the women movement as a, organizer, community leader that you are. We appreciate you. And you guys, if you want to learn more about, again, the Fashion Poor, the women movement, and our studios where we at right now, Heritage Headquarters, follow us on social media. We're sharing all those links on the bottom of this description so you guys could come in and connect with us. This is about building community. It's about coming and exchanging with you guys wisdom and knowledge that sometimes takes us a lot of headaches and a lot of years to accomplish. So thank you for sharing your journey again. And I hope you guys stay tuned and watch for more.
De Negocio a Negocio es patrocinado por Gente Connect. Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales Gente Connect. Suscríbete, dale like y comenta a nuestro canal de YouTube Gente Connect.